trafficking. How does one find themselves in the sex trafficking industry? Well, these traffickers, also known as pimps, they prey on the vulnerabilities of others and they exploit that for their own personal gain. Let me tell you how they got me. When I was 4, this man was creeping into my bedroom and he was doing things to me that shouldn't happen to anyone ever. This was molding my perception of the world, of what love is, of who I am, my value, of men. All of that was being molded during that time. That ended when I was about 12 years old, as he moved out of the house. Around the same time, I started drinking, and drinking became the solution to a problem I didn't really know that I had. My problem was reality. My problem was this inside-out feeling that I had, this feeling of self-hate and disgust. And when I would drink, that would kind of quiet down. So I did that again. In my family, we are taught you don't talk, don't trust, don't feel. And so I kept that secret of him doing those things to me when I was a little girl. And as a result, I just hated myself. And I didn't really know what the problem was. I didn't know that it wasn't my fault. You know, I didn't know that stuff. And I would drink and things would get better. And at first, drinking and smoking weed was fun and it was fine and there wasn't many consequences. But then I became completely addicted. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it became my everything. It made all of my reality okay, you know, so I continued to do that. Didn't even know how not to do it at some point, you know. So I graduate high school, I go down to Shawnee State University. I want to become a dental hygienist. I want to be something different than my family was growing up. I wanted to be able to eat at the end of the month, you know. I wanted to be somebody. But at this point, my drug addiction and my alcoholism had already progressed, and I couldn't go without drinking, and I ended up having to drop out of college. So I go back to Nelsonville, which is where I'm from, little 5-second town, Southeast Ohio. So I go back to Nelsonville, and it's just like, it added on to the self-hate and the self-doubt and the I'm no good and I'm not capable. And so I just continued to use to kind of make all that okay. And in my family, this was normal, so I didn't fall too far from the tree. And so I started to steal from people because, well, fast food didn't really provide for the addiction that I was trying to cover. So I started to steal from the people that loved me the most, you know, the people that would let me in again because they knew I wouldn't do it this time. And that's a hard pill to swallow, no pun intended. It's a hard pill to swallow when you get into recovery, you know, having to look back and say, like, I'm so sorry that I did that stuff to you because I really didn't want to, you know what I mean? And so I left Nelsonville and I came up to Columbus, and I specifically came to Columbus because dope was easier to get here. It was cheaper, it was more readily available. So I come up here and I'm in the bottoms, the west side of Columbus, and I'm sitting there, this guy comes up to me and he's good looking and he has a great smile and he's charming, and he asked me if I'm looking for anything. And I was like, yes, I'm looking for dope. I'm dope sick and I need something. So he says, I got you. He takes my money. Now, I know he's not going to bring anything back to me. He don't know me. I don't know him. So he takes my money, and I'm sitting there, and I'm getting sicker, and then he comes back with dope. He has my solution in his hands, you know what I mean? And so he gives me the dope, and that was his way of starting to befriend me. Now, I didn't know this. Looking back, I think, oh, my message is, you stupid girl, how could you let him get you, you know? And so, but this is what they do. They're good at what they do. They're smart. They're businessmen and women out there. They're not just flopping through life trying to get another one. They know what they're doing, and they're good at it. This is their livelihood, you know? And so he starts to befriend me. He protects me from people in the bottoms. He tells me where to go, where not to go. You know, he kind of just shelters me in that way, and I start to believe that he actually has my back, that he actually starts to care about me, that he loves me. He tells me he loves me. He looks like he loves me. I want him to love me, you know? So he's telling me all the things that I don't even know I need to hear, and I just fall right into that. He feeds me these false promises and these lies and these things that I want so bad, and I just follow him because that's what I want. And then he sits down across from me, and I'll never forget this, probably until the day I die. He sits down across from me, and he's looking at me in my eyes, and he says to me, you have to do what I want you to do now because you owe me now. I did not see that coming. I was genuinely shocked and confused by this, and I just think back like, oh, big surprise. Everybody in my life up to this point has done this type of thing to me. This is just another. It has to be me, right? It has to be my fault. And guess what? He wants me to believe it's my fault, because then what am I going to do? Nothing. I did it to myself. I can't go to the cops. I'm a drug addict. I'm a prostitute. I'm no good. I'm not even worth saving if I did want to go to the cops. I'm exactly where he wants me. So So think about this path that I've been going down my entire life. I'm the perfect person for him. He's looking for me. He knows what he's doing. This is my message I want us to hear today, is that they're not stupid people, they're smart, and they're preying on these vulnerabilities, and it is evil, and it is frustrating. This is why I'm here today. This isn't exactly fun to sit and talk about, but this is real, and it's happening right now. As we're talking, this is happening. Someone's being tricked into that life right now. I don't want that to be the case anymore. I want this to stop. So that's why we do this, right? So he teaches me, well, he actually introduces me to somebody that teaches me how to get in and out of cars to sell sex. And initially I thought, well, whatever, let's just do it. Part of it was desperation, part of it was, what else am I gonna do? And part of it was, I know he loves me, we're gonna get through this kind of deal. So I get into these cars and a couple of things can happen. One thing is I could get in and I end up with someone that isn't actually terrible. They just have a fantasy to fulfill, or they're lonely, or whatever it is, but we make the transaction, I take the money back to the trafficker, we both get high on it, and we're okay. Or I can get into a car and I am face to face with a person that is actually there to buy rape. Those people are terrifying, and they're dark, and they're evil, and there's nothing I can do about it. So my body and my mind tell me to submit, just give in, just let him have his way so that you can live. These things are also really difficult to get through when I get sober, because I can feel and remember and think, and that stuff is not easy. And I feel stupid and weak. How could I have submitted? Why would I not fight, right? I mean, how could I not have these messages? I get sober, and I'm supposed to just be happy. I'm supposed to trust you. The people that are here to help me, I'm supposed to trust you. Everybody in my life has betrayed me. So no, I do not trust you. I don't even want to, not for a minute. So I get in and out of jail at this point in time. Obviously, a whole lot of other things happen, but I've only got 12 minutes. so in and out of jail, and they definitely want us in a state of delusion. So I'm not really able to eat very often. I don't get to sleep as normal people would sleep. I was up for 8 days without sleep at all this last time I went to jail. Delusional, crazy, hallucinating. What am I going to do? I'm not going to go seek help when I'm out of my mind, you know? But this, I get out of jail, and that trafficker, the one that I love and that loves me, is gone. And this other trafficker is just kind of there. And this, I just want to share these two traffickers because they are kind of two different ballgames. The second trafficker, I didn't love him. He didn't love me, and we didn't even play like we did. He was very businessman. He had suit, tie, nice car, had us nice clothes in the trunk, owns properties in Columbus, has a wife, has 2 kids. I've been to his house, and he's doing this. So how in the world am I supposed to get okay with life when anybody could buy, anybody could sell? It's really difficult. I believe today things are a little different, but it's really difficult to get there. So this guy was different. He made me sell myself on Craigslist. And the way that works is somebody would call the phone that we had, I would answer, and I would either make the sale or not. And if I did sell myself over the phone, I'd be walking into God only knows what, because it's their domain. It's whatever happens, you know. And if I didn't sell myself, then I had to deal with him. And he was a big man, and he hit hard. I did not want to disappoint him. So I was in this state of kind of torment, you know. So they do different kind of tactics to keep us submitted, to keep us needing to follow them, so that all of us will just be, they will be everything that we need, you know. So that's kind of how that trafficker worked. And then I go in jail again, and at this point in time, so I just briefly, I had a kid, might be important, but I lost custody of him. My mom came and took him, and she should have, because I absolutely could not do right by him. I put him in situations he should have never been in. So she came and took him from me, and I'm so thankful that she did, because she prevented him from seeing other things. So I went hard for a little bit longer because I had nothing else to live for. What's the point? That was my very last straw, but I still could not get right by him as much as I wanted to. Because when reality kicks in, when the drugs wear off, I start to lose my mind. I can't deal with the reality. So I go to jail this last time. Catch court finds me, and I don't even know how all that played out exactly. Honestly, I don't remember saying yes to the program, but I signed some papers that said that I am not committed to this 2-year voluntary program. And I got to tell you, this was a thing I just didn't see coming. And what I know now through reflection is that I didn't say yes because the judge. I didn't trust him. We didn't know who he was back then. Like, he has a rep now. Now, like, Judge Herbert trustworthy, okay. I didn't know him then. That's the picture that you guys saw. That's what I saw when I saw him. No offense. So I would go out there, and he'd say things like, how are you? And I'm like, fine. Do you need anything? No. I don't trust you. I don't want anything from you. But there was like 4 or 5 women that were in catch court. It was back in 2009, so it was brand new. So there was like 4 or 5 women out there. That's who got me. Those people that have walked the same path that I walked, and they somehow have a light to them. They somehow laugh like for real, and they just shine, and they're saying, I get why you want to go back to your trafficker. I get why you love him. I love mine too. You don't have to go back right now. Let's just talk about it. Let's see how it goes. And that connection made all the difference in the world. And then Catch Court, or Freedom a la carte, was introduced to Catch Court, and then these mentors come along, and they were like, really annoying. You know, they're so full of life and love and happiness, and I am dead inside, and I'm just waiting on you to betray me anyway. But they didn't. They didn't betray me, guys. So I had this one mentor. Her name's Carrie. And so she would just keep coming by and say, can I take your trash? And I'm like, whatever. And then she'd like, can I take your trash? Whatever. You know, but she just kept coming around. She became a familiar, consistent face. I got to build a relationship with her, and I kid you not, that one person helped to open the door for other people to come into my life. Because still to this day, 9 years later, she has not betrayed me. She has not lied to me. She is canceled, but she just did it with truth. I can't come today. Okay, I get that. That I can deal with. She did not leave me. Like those things that I needed to heal from, she helped me to heal from. Then these other mentors and other volunteers, the annoyance started to lower a little because I could laugh with them. I started to become alive inside with them, you know? So that was a cool deal. And I'm just thankful that they didn't give up on me because I come in here angry, full of hate and frustration. How do I live this new life? I don't understand. So there should be some resources coming up here. Somewhere up there, but if you want to get connected, you can. There are things that you alone can do. That's the thing that's surprising to me. You can help us to heal our vulnerabilities. Slow down a little. And it makes all the difference in the world. As a result, because of the volunteers in Catch Court and Amethyst, Catch Court made me go to Amethyst, which is drug trauma and treatment facility to help treat all of that. I get to become whole again. So I started working with Freedom a la carte, which they're food stuff, and I'm a microwaver at heart, so it was super confusing. Chopping stuff for real, whatever. However, they just helped for me to become human again, become employable. Then they told me to put my resume in at the Columbus City Attorney's Office. I'm like, here we go. Here's where the betrayal comes in. Like, that's not cool to happen. It's a sick joke. Anyway, I put my resume in. They hire me. It shouldn't make any sense to me at all because I'm a convicted felon, have little education, and what I do have I cheated for. I'm not proud of that, but that's the reality. But they gave me this opportunity because when we heal, we get to thrive, and they were watching me, and they decided that I might be worth taking a chance on. They gave me this part-time job. I stayed there for 5 years, had several promotions, and then Judge Herbert comes up to me one day, 6 months ago, and says, out loud, do you want to be my bailiff? What? I thought he didn't mean to say that. And I almost, you know, anyway, I just was shocked, okay? I was shocked. I couldn't go into my mouth. It was an amazing honor to be asked to do that. I didn't know what a bailiff did, but I very much knew that he's asking me to be one of his most trusted employees. Absolutely. So I shadowed just to be sure that we weren't setting me up for failure. Neither one of us wanted to set me up for failure. So I shadowed, and now I'm the bailiff to Catch Court, to all of his dockets. Like, that is an amazing transition, is because they helped to heal my vulnerabilities that were starting to be created, that these predators preyed on my entire life. But guess what? They no longer can get me. Amen. Period. The red flags, check the signs, call the 800 number, get connected if you want to be a part of the solution that has been secret for so long. Let's do something about it. Thank you.